Hello, Moisha. It's an absolute pleasure to see you once again. I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
Hey Tim, yes, very much so. It's exciting. I think there's a lot that we need to share in this discussion. I know that since we got the license agreement, you've been working very hard and developing many new technologies and aspect of the platform. So I'm really looking forward to hear about it as well as to see you again. It's always nice.
Thank you, sir.
Question is really what was Get doing before we met Tim and before we started our discussion of Tim and his team operating the Get platform. Get Diamond, as the slogan says, by the industry for the industry, was really created by the World Federation of Diamond Bourses, which is the largest organization that represents the largest group of diamond dealers and jewelry manufacturers in the industry. When Get Diamond was created, it was created during COVID time. So Get Diamond was incepted, created with that mindset. We knew from the get-go that it's a very daring proposition for a nonprofit organization. You know, when you think about a startup company. So what were we doing? We created the platform. We rallied around the ideas and the notion and the understanding of what we wanted to be like and what we wanted it to look like, what our short-term and long-term goals are. And one of the things from the very get-go we set to do was, at one point or another, should we be successful, this platform will create some profits. And because we're a nonprofit organization, it's not going to go to shareholder or be distributed in dividend. We knew that we were going to put it straight back into the business, primarily in ways of advertising and marketing generic natural diamonds, which we felt was very much needed at this time. That was the game plan. For, I would say, for about 2 or 3 years, all we did was created the platform, dealt with all the nitty gritty of a new startup, stabilized it, and I would have to say, with a certain amount of pride, we were able to make it to 3 years in a row, which is not a small thing for a young startup. And then our next phase was to find a company, a commercial company, that will operate it under a license agreement that will be able to take it to the next level of a commercial entity. So we were looking for skill, we were looking for integrity, but also we were looking for a company who had a full understanding of the industry and the concept of for the industry, by the industry.
Well, I've been using the Get B2B trading platform for some years. I liked it and I found it useful, but I thought it could do better. And when a relationship between the Federation and a third party service provider came to an end, I was quite excited about the possibility of us providing the services that I felt were needed by Get. So I approached the Federation and they were very interested to hear what we had to say. So we put a proposal.
I would say that we were very happy when we were first introduced to YD, to Mr. Tim Goodman. He brought in an amazing experience from being in the diamond business. He's in Australia, so that gives you the prospect of the other side of the world, seeing the industry from the other side of the world. He ran companies, successful companies, under a license agreement. He knows what the industry needs. He's both a technological company, but also a marketing company. He's got a very impressive board. So we said, let's roll out the sleeve and get together, put our brains together, and see how one and one can be equal not only two, but can equal 20 for the benefit of the industry. And so we go, and here I am sitting today telling you about it.
I've been in the diamond industry since I was 18, just after I left school. My family have been in the diamond industry for 4 generations before me. So I feel as though I've got diamonds in the blood. I grew up with a grandfather and an uncle who were diamond merchants. And it was in the 70s, and it was a different era, but the fundamentals were similar. The problems in the 70s are still there today. And so I am focused on solving problems. Get Diamonds has a wonderful reputation and platform on which to grow. So at the moment, it provides wholesale asking prices for 1 million plus diamonds with quite a lot of added information. We want to take that a step further. And so our role is to keep the Get Diamonds platform technology up to date, which we are doing as we speak. The market, particularly younger people, are seeking a different customer experience. So we want to provide the trade with the tools that they can use to provide a different customer experience so that they can attract new customers to their businesses. So our mission is to make life easier and more profitable for members of Get and members of the World Federation of Diamond Bourses generally. We're about to conduct a global survey, and we're going to be asking the industry questions about what they actually need, particularly in relation to pricing apps. The moment the platforms provide different types of pricing apps, we want to find out what the industry actually wants and how we can develop the apps that we've already built to satisfy the industry's needs. And finally, there are other issues like trade finance and the ability for the trade to sell using internet technology to sell to the retail market. So we will be looking at introducing B2C auctions and also collateral-based trade finance in the future.
My personal background obviously gives me a clear understanding of the industry and its needs and the connection and everything. But when I got involved with the World Federation Diamond Bourses, first as a board member on behalf of Diamond Club West Coast, I was elected as the president. And as such, I was part of the World Federation executive board. I realized, together with the president, Yoram Drash, that the industry was facing constant changing times, and the challenges are quite a few. And if we want to serve our members properly, we should constantly look at the challenges that they're faced with and see how can we mitigate those challenges, because as an industry we knew that we had to play a role to provide the necessary leadership and perhaps solution or the platforms such as Get Diamond that will help create the solution.
So there have been a number of fundamental changes in the diamond industry. Firstly, young people want a different customer experience. Secondly, internet technology has put a lot of pressure on diamantaires, and the industry is having trouble adapting. And there are other problems like barriers to entry for new, younger diamantaires. I think that the challenges of getting financed to access to the industry, I think that's a challenge. And of course, the provenance of diamonds. There's an issue with Russian diamonds, which have been banned by the West, and younger people want to know more about the product when they're buying it. Moishe, where do you see the industry going in the next, say, 10 years?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, so the old saying, if I only had the crystal ball to know, I wouldn't be sitting in this in this interview. I would be riding my private jet, right? But
yes,
I think it's safe to assume that. So let me think of it this way. When I first joined the business, there was a little bit of an element of romancing the stone. Nobody knew about the diamond. When people asked me, "What are you doing for a living?" and I said, "I sell diamond," there was a pause in the room. He sells diamond, glitter, glamour, everything. And then slowly it became a little bit commoditized. And when people ask me, "What are you doing for a living?" and I said, "I sell diamonds," and they said, "DVVS1, DVVS2, excellent, very good, crown angle." It became very technical. And it's all important and relevant information. And it's important that the public understands what they're buying. But really, diamonds are not about crown angles. Diamonds are about romancing the stone. Diamonds are about scarcity. Diamonds are about love, expression of love. Diamonds about our family heirlooms. So I think we've reached a point that the technology is so advanced and the competition is so furious and everything is so out there. And then you have the lab-grown diamond and everything. And it's constantly evolving, and there is AI and all of those things, that the industry in the next upcoming years will have to see itself reinventing itself in terms of the added value, the romance, the story that there is to tell about diamond and diamond jewelry. and owning diamonds and diamond jewelry, doing so while paying attention to the evolving technology and using it to its advantage. Technology is not a bad thing. There's some things that a conservative industry like ours was having a hard time coping with at first with technology. But there are many good things that technology could be serving the industry for. So I think the industry will have to reinvent itself, like I said, in terms of marketing, adding value to the product in terms of what it stands for, and of course the design and the beauty of the jewelry. And I think many dealers will have to explore even more the direct marketing, the B2C and not just B2B, because the consumer is looking for sources, constantly looking for sources. And I think a new market, new evolving markets that did not exist. Look at India, for instance. India, as I understand it, is booming now. The market itself, the end users in India. So I think that these are all the areas that where the industry is going to in the next few years.
Just like to ask you a question about trade-ins. Now, obviously, trade-ins take place a little bit in the retail market. However, over the next few years, baby boomers are going to leave $1 trillion worth of luxury goods to their children, grandchildren, a large portion of which will be sold. I'm just wondering whether there's an opportunity for retailers to provide trade-ins to young customers who want to buy something in retail and ease the pain of paying the full retail price. Do you think that's something that retailers may adopt in the future?
I think it's already happening now to a certain extent. I think it will become maybe perhaps more of an established aspect of the business. Transparency is very important. It's very important to be transparent with the buyer. When I talk about romancing the stone, perhaps one of the things that will romance the stone would be the provenance of the stone. Where was it mined? Who was it mined from? To create some sort of the history of the stone. Over time, would be another element where Get would help its dealers accomplish its ultimate goal of creating a story for the diamond. Because we live in a time and age where if you snooze, you lose. A good platform like Get, with all of its technologies, will enable dealers to act fast, to find the diamonds, and to be able to turn around and romance it to their own buyers. So the Get is having here a crucial role in helping the dealers function in the most efficient and profitable way for them to be able to execute their business plan and serving their customers in the best possible way. One of the things that I know the team already is looking at is approaching the different bourses around the world. And he said, within Get platform, I'm going to create for you your own virtual room for your bourse with your personal needs, with your personal chats and communication and everything. That's by the industry for the industry. No other platform is offering such a thing. So there are many things that Get is going to bring to the table, which is technological ability and the experiences that Mr. Goodman is bringing to the table, together with the need of the industry and with the role of the federation as a non-profit that's looking to take care of its dealers and the industries as a whole. So it seems like a win-win type of team.
Thank you, Moisha. You've summed up the situation with Get beautifully. We are developing a very close relationship with the Federation. We have great respect for the executive and the board members, and we seek their counsel regularly on our projects. Under the terms of the licence, we have to have the Federation's consent to do anything outside what we're currently doing, particularly with regard to the offer of some of our applications that are in development at the moment. And so we feel as though the relationship is very good for my team. It's going to be very good for Get, because Get is continually being driven by a not-for-profit federation. So as Moisha rightly said, it's a win-win for everybody.
I have to think about how critical it is the renovation, the innovation of technology for the diamond industry. I would say critical, very critical, but more so reality. Technology is here to stay, and it's here to evolve and grow and change. So it's very critical that A, diamond dealers in the industry will have the flexibility to adjust as technology changes, and B, to use it to its advantage because it's part of our life. And also, technology brings many opportunities. The ability to reach a much larger crowd that you weren't able to reach before or not as easily to reach. Now you can click on a button and you're in the world, and you're in different continents and offering different products. The ability to use all different kind of data sources. I think one of the things, I'm not even completely aware of it, but I had the opportunity to talk to your team. I think they're working and they've been working as a technology company on all different kind of data applications that are very useful tool to dealers to understand the market. Take the technology, do not resist it, understand it, and use it to your advantage. I think will be pretty much a good formula for success. So if I want to try to explain to you the ethical aspect of what is the concept behind the World Federation Diamond Bourses, one will have to understand, first of all, the concept of a bourse, a diamond exchange in Israel, in Australia, in New York, in India, in Dubai, etc., etc. Diamond exchange is a hub for people to be able to primarily trade goods, but also to interact, socialize, exchange information, etc., etc. And diamond dealers understood many, many years ago, probably before I was born, and I was born quite a few years ago, diamond dealer understood that since they're dealing with high volume items that are moving very fast from one side to another, and deals are being done literally every second in very high volume or every minute or what have you, they understood that the traditional contracts and attorneys and escrows will not be the proper way to conduct the business. So the only option they had was a handshake, my word. But then, in order for it to be sustainable and not to end up with a bunch of empty promises, they created the bourses, created a system of vetting its members, demanding from them some sort of guarantees and ability to demonstrate to carry certain financial responsibilities, and created within the bourses its own dispute settlement mechanism, whether by mediation or arbitration, that are binding in the courts of law. And that creates a very unique system of a member-based bourse that, for the most part, are people of very high integrity that have been properly vetted. So that's the concept of a bourse. Now take this concept and understand how all the bourses around the world came together and say, okay, now that we understand the value of this concept for trade, for exchange of information, for interaction, and for integrity, why don't we come together under one roof and call it the Federation of the World Bourses? And that's the World Federation of Diamond Bourses. And the same mechanism of integrity and dispute settlement extend also at the Federation. So if there is a dispute between a dealer in Australia to a dealer in Los Angeles, they will end up reaching out to the Federation, who will either mediate or arbitrate that dispute. So it created a very unique crowd that basically on a handshake can close a deal that otherwise would take, in the real estate world, for instance, 60 to 90 days escrow with all different kind of contingencies, etc., etc. I hope I was able somehow to bring the unique world of the diamond people into this conversation.
Look, it's thank you for that, Moisha. Yes, it's that credibility and that drive to require members of the Federation to apply best business practices to their organisations. That is something that is terribly refreshing and very important for the future of GET. We agree to that. It's the way that most of us have conducted ourselves during our careers, and with GET, we want to spread that word and make sure that the industry is continuously aware of the Federation's drive for best business practice. Charles Darwin once said, "It's not the strongest that survive, nor is it the fittest. It's the one most able to change. The market is going through huge changes right now, and the Get Diamonds platform is going to help the industry make those changes and as a result of that, increase the profitability of their businesses.
Very nice, very nice. And it's that exact same spirit of the quotation that made the Federation to sign the license agreement with YD, with Tim Gutman, and not with some other options that we've had, because we really bought into that spirit, experience, technology, and integrity. So, needless to say that we're looking forward, and yes, we're aware that there are challenges, but we're certainly looking forward.
Thank you, Moishe. Lovely to see you again.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure. Always nice seeing you.
Indeed. All the best.
Take care.